All right, it's Joe here from Forward Progress, and we are going to go into some training talking about blogging and different strategies for optimizing a well-written blog so that it has the very best chances of getting picked up by Google. And let's see, we are going to begin with why companies should be blogging. So the way it started out was that a blog was simply somewhere for a company to talk about what they do, what their products and services are, to add some value to their website and give some value to potential and existing customers so that they could learn a little bit more about what the company does. What this has evolved into, though, is that Google views blogs and blog posts as very friendly when it comes to having quality content that should be ranked high on the search engines. So Google's algorithm is by far viewed as the most accurate in finding what you want online, above Bing and Yahoo and some of the other smaller guys out there that aren't as relevant anymore. And the reason is that Google's looking at a number of things on any blog page that tells them this is most likely what these users are looking for. And what businesses do to leverage that knowledge is they say, okay, what if I could learn exactly what Google's looking for in each blog post? I can optimize my blog post to not only have that useful content, but to have exactly what Google's looking for so that when my potential customers are searching for my product or service online, I'm showing up ranking higher than my competition, right? So that's like the holy grail, showing up on the first page of Google search results for exactly what you want to. So let's dig into, what is on-page versus off-page optimization. Anything that we have direct control over as the authors of these blogs is known as on-page optimization because it's everything that's on the actual page that we can directly control on the website for where we're showing up in the Google search results so that we have the most control over what's on these pages, right? Off-page is something different. It's equally as powerful, but it's not what we're covering today. Off-page would be Google looking at third-party, so to speak, factors of your website or blog site. So it could include, how many other reputable websites in this same category are pointing to your site. So if you have all these different, mortgage-related websites, in this case, pointing to your site, they'll view your website as of high authority in the mortgage industry. An example would be like bankrate.com. Bankrate.com is one of the very highest authority websites in the mortgage business because they have literally thousands of other mortgage companies, rating agencies, governing bodies in the mortgage industry all pointing to their site and hitting their site every day. And because of all that off-page lit backlinks, so to speak, that point towards bankrate.com, that's one of the major factors that it's ranked so high and shows up on the first page of Google for pretty much everything, mortgage related. So getting into next here, the nuts and bolts of what goes into optimizing each blog. I have a couple different tabs open here. This particular mortgage blog is one of our past clients. He's actually still alive with us too, but this is one that's been going for a while, and he's had some success, so wanted to use it as an example. Here in this tab, I have basically just logged into WordPress, and this is what it looks like behind the scenes. So when you want to start a new blog, you simply hit Add New when you're in the Posts section. And one plugin, this is really the core of everything we're working on here. It's called Seopressor, and that's a play off the words SEO, which is search engine optimization, and professor. So Seopressor is probably one of the very best WordPress plugins you can get anywhere. And what it does is it acts almost like a little coach for you. And here in the upper right, every time you start a new blog, you'll see that there's a score. And each time you hit Save Draft, it's going to recalculate how well optimized your blog is that you're writing in relation to the factors that Google has for what they see as a well-written blog. So let's go ahead and use an example. Each time we want a new blog post written by one of our team members, we use what we call this blog request form to really spell things out and make it as easy as possible. Just a few questions here, what we're looking for, what we want you to write about, where it's supposed to go, all the good stuff. So for example, this would be a blog post request form for a client of ours whose name is Frank Samis. He's a high-producing loan officer with Bridgeview Bank, which is one of our big clients. So we've logged into a different mortgage blog here for the example, but here you would log into franksamis.com. You can click New Post, and here is the most important first step. The topic or niche that we're going after here is Chicago mortgage rates. And just to give you a little bit of background on what this is all about, this is basically a keyword phrase that the client believes his ideal target customers are going to be typing into Google to find a solution for whatever their problem is. So let's say they have a home and they want to refinance their mortgage. They want the best mortgage rates available in their area. Our market is Chicago. So they might type in Chicago mortgage rates and find a slew of, mortgage companies, lenders, big banks, and our client wants to rank as high as possible to get as much business as possible within this particular category. And this changes each time we do a blog, but usually they're focused on the Chicago market and getting mortgage clients. So what we do is simply take this, we're going to copy it, we're going to paste it into right here, what the keyword is, and maybe just up here for right now. And once we hit Save Draft, remember it's recalculating it, and now I knew it wasn't going to show very high here since we just started, but the reason why I hit that is to now show you that it's now computing all the different factors, just so we can kind of go down the list. This score will never get to 100%. I've got it to 100 one time, but really all the planets have to align in addition to doing all this in order for it to get to 100. So usually anything over 80, 85% is considered good for this optimization score. It's important to know just a little bit about HTML and code to know what these are referring to. So an H1 tag, H2, that stands for a header. So anytime in the article you have a header showing up in these three sizes is what this is referring to. So what I'm going to do is just use an example and paste it in here. This is one that I wrote a while back, so I'm just going to kind of copy all this. Paste it in. And usually it doesn't look natural if you just have the keyword phrase as the title of the whole blog post. So we try and make something that has relevance and makes sense here. So how about how to find the best Chicago mortgage rates? Or you could sometimes even make it a question, which sparks people to click on it when they see it in the Google search results, since it's more rare for headlines to be questions. So now that I have pasted this in here, I'm going to hit Save Draft again, and you're going to see the score change here. And we're going to go into each one of these to kind of talk about what each of these means. So it turned green for the most part here because a lot of the optimization stuff has already been done. And first and foremost, you're going to see the layout of this maybe not look as appealing to the eye as it could, but remember, our first focus is not on appeal visually and aesthetics. It is catering to exactly what Google wants to see. And a lot of people ask,